Hello, welcome to All the Photos Today, and today we are going to be looking at some photos I had from a recent nature hike. You guys probably seen a couple of these photos in my editing videos, but today we're going to look closely, and the main point I want to make for this video is that just because you have a video, not a video, just because most photos of nature that you see are mostly wildlife pictures or landscapes, and I'm trying to show you how especially if you don't live in those kind of locations, how you can still get some cool naturey type photos. So here's the first photo I have, and this was kind of what I was trying to get, kind of like a landscape, show the water, show like the interest in the clouds, have good lighting. Of course, this photo I kind of think I over processed it, and it would probably have looked better maybe in an HDR, but then you can kind of see right here there isn't much interest in the tree line. It doesn't really have any shape, so that's why it was really hard to get that landscape photo. So in here I have this tree, and I'll actually hide this. So we have this tree right over here, and this tree I thought was really interesting, the bark, and I chose to go vertical, and then again bringing up the blues. Not my favorite photo, but I think it was still a cool one because this tree was definitely very interesting, and there was a lot of trees like this, and it really shows the environment. Then here's kind of a landscape photo, because again I did go there hoping to get a landscape photo. I kind of wish I would have done a longer exposure to freeze up the water, but I'm not too disappointed with this. But it's nothing special in my opinion. I wish I kind of had the sun in here, but for this location, it just didn't work out. And now here's where we're kind of getting the photos that you don't typically see. So like, since you don't have that main interest of location, you gotta kind of hunt for areas. So for instance, I would go to the edge and then try to find interesting logs and all that. And now we get an interesting shape, and we kind of see the swamp, and it gets a very swampy vibe with the interesting rain clouds, storm clouds. And this is kind of a close-up, not quite macro, but I kind of processed it very interesting. That most people would probably take it back, but I thought just to make it interesting, why not do that really poppy look? And it's just moss, but I think it's nothing special really, but it's a cool photo to have, especially in a photo story. If I was going to make a photo story for this location. But yeah. And here's kind of a flower. I kind of like this photo. We have a lot of negative space, but I feel like it draws you up towards it. The plants draw you up through the photo, and I enjoy this photo. And this is like one of those photos where let's not just point our camera at the flower and just take the picture. Let's try to get on the flower's perspective. Of course, I didn't do that perfectly, but it is at a different perspective than the average person would normally look at it. And here's a bridge photo. There's actually a video here. It'll be on the screen. I'll show you a link to it that I did looking at this photo. And this, I really like the black and white, showing how the bridge. Then we have a similar photo, but showing the bridge more contrasty into darkness, into like nothing, which I think adds a lot of interest and tells a good story. And here we have another path one, and I thought these plants were just really interesting. This was kind of like not a path that a lot of people use, but so I really want to show how the light is coming down, and then how all the plants are kind of pointing towards a trail. I thought that was really interesting. And here I went in closer, and this photo I quite like. So these are the kind of photos I think that you gotta get, like these path photos and photos of just the plants when you don't have that great landscape, or you don't have that bluntly obvious image to take. And I didn't just focus on the front one, but I did lower my f-stop to about an f8, so we still get that focus. And I didn't focus on the front plant, I focused on one towards the middle, so it gives that very interesting look. And here's a kind of a tree. This one I think would be a prime candidate for HDR, since we have the blown out backgrounds, but at the time I didn't really think, I don't know, not much this photo. It's kind of cliche. You've probably seen this photo before, but I just thought it was interesting because it was one of the more interesting trees in the forest. And here's a grass photo, nothing too special, but I do like how, because I went there right after a rain, which is great because I had I had decent lighting, and I had great clouds to give an awesome images, especially for the ones that we saw in the beginning. But also it made all the plants have water on them, which looks awesome, especially for this grass picture. And this is one of the unexpected photos. I have a video on how I used built-in flash to get this photo because it was pretty dark out, and I think it's a different photo. It's something that not everybody is going to get when they go to this location. I think these are the kind of photos you want to try to get when, again, you don't have that blatantly obvious photo. It's not quite macro, it's not quite a plant image or a flower image. It's just different. It looks cool. Of course, it isn't the greatest photo in the world, but I think for this location, it's definitely a cool photo to take. And here, this photo I did a terrible job at, and I had to save it in post, but I don't think I did the best job. This is just this little waterfall. This was what I was hoping to photograph, get long exposure, but I didn't bring an ND filter, which was a big mistake. So I had to wait till it was kind of dark, but it just didn't work out. And also I was hoping that there'd be more water, but I still think this is a cool photo just to show like the running water. But it's kind of to just say, like, just because you have that slow shutter speed doesn't mean, and you have that silky water doesn't mean it's automatically an awesome photo. So that's about all the images we're going to look at today. And again, I hope you just because you're going to a location that doesn't have that awesome landscape, or awesome wildlife, it probably does, you just have to find it. But just because it doesn't have that, or you don't have the equipment to get those kind of photos, doesn't mean you can't get great nature photos. Of course, none of these are like spot on perfect, but I think they're pretty decent for one of my first times, not my first time, but one of my times trying to find images that like this. So definitely the big thing is just keep your eyes open and try to find a different nature photo. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you check out other videos from all the photos today and subscribe. Thank you.